Fact, 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 fact. Here's what happened. But this is ridiculous. This is ridiculous. I'm fine. I have no idea what you're talking about. I'm fine. Oh, man. Okay, so there's a lot there. There's a lot in that one. Okay, guys, we're jumping back into some Ren here, and it's gonna be a little different today because I don't think there's any songs in the mix here. I think we're just covering lore, more or less. But somebody mentioned in the comments for Self-Portrait, Vincent's Tale, that there's a Richard's Tale that's supposed to be on the way, and then the fact that Richard was shown there at the very end of that song. There was then a series that, actually, I don't know if this came out after Vincent's Tale, after that reveal that Richard's part of it, or if this was a teaser leading up to Vincent's Tale, as if like, oh, you guys, just so you know, Richard's part of this, kind of placing it within that universe. So I actually don't know where this lands. Maybe let's take a look, actually. Let's take a look. If I go over to Ren's actual channel, yeah, if I click into Vincent's Tale, look exactly when it came out, July 31st, 2025. But then looking at, I'm just going to pull up the very first one here. Okay. We need. Apparently, we're starting where we left off with Screech here. Okay, so 3 months ago, July 28th. Okay, so this kind of hit really, really quickly. I'm guessing right before Vincent's Tale, right? Wow. So how quickly did all these come out? So there's that one. And then going back, I'm just going to look at this real quick before we dive into everything. Okay, so all of them came out in the days leading up to the release of Vincent's Tale Self-Portrait, with Reinstated coming out on July 31st, I'm guessing just before Vincent's Tale came out. So that's really cool. So that was leading up to the release of Vincent's Tale, hyping it up. So I'm going to get back to the videos here, and we're going to take this from the very first one, Suspect Down. Let me get my headphones here.
Of man, you think that uniform you're wearing means that you own these streets? These are my fucking streets, and they call me fucking Screech. Richard was an officer who stood at 6'3", working London on the night shift. What he didn't think he'd see was a boy running at him like an animal possessed. With no time to hesitate, he fired 4 bullets at Screech's chest.
Urgent. Suspect down. 4 shots fired. Need ambulance and backup. Upbrook Mews, Paddington. Urgent, over.
Down, ambulance and backup en route. Upbrook Mews, Paddington. ETA 4 minutes. Confirmed suspect status. Still active? Over.
Negative. Suspect down, not moving. He's bleeding out fast. It's just get them here quick. Over.
Man. Oh, man. Yeah, no, I couldn't imagine being in that position, you know, it being your job to keep the peace, to protect other citizens. And then when you come upon a situation where you do have to use force. And I mean, there can be all kinds of arguments here, whether or not the force was justified. In so many situations, we see that rhetoric and that back and forth happen is, was it really justified? Was it really a justified thing? But man, getting beyond that aspect of it, being that person that has now made that decision, whether it was the right decision or not, then dealing with it. And I think that's the journey we're about to see here is what Richard's journey was after being, you know, run down by this 14-year-old kid with a huge knife, making that decision to take him out, and what that fallout looks like. Man, it's just heavy stuff. Heavy stuff. Let's move on to the next one. What was this one called? This is Temporary Leave.
You need time, Richard.
Oh, come on.
You've been dodging the counselling sessions, mate. It's policy for a reason. Yeah, going through that's going to mess with anyone's head, yeah?
I don't need sessions. I'm fine. He came at me, 6 stabs in that girl, Mark. I had no choice.
I get it.
She was just a kid.
I get it, okay? All right? But you're sat here 3 months on, drowning in paperwork, scowling at anyone who even bloody looks at you. You've been a right pain in the arse, mate.
Right, cheers.
Don't be like that, Rich. I'm not riding you for no reason here.
Yeah.
The whole team's walking on eggshells around you. I asked you for those McLean files at least 4 times last week, and all I got was attitude every time I brought them up.
Fine, I hear you. I'll get them done and on your desk. It is just a sodding report, though. Do we have to make it such a big deal?
It's not even a sodding report. It's a witness statement summary, and I had to get Freddie on them on Friday because they're just about to go in front of the judge. See, this is what I'm talking about, Rich.
Yeah.
You're not here. You're not even close, mate.
This isn't me, Mark. You know I've always been solid. 10 years, not a foot wrong. I just need to get
And
back
I've
out
known
there.
you all that time. Spotless. Like clockwork. But this, you're not the same bloke. Now, I've let it slide. I've kept you on the desk through the investigation, but I am out of moves here.
You can give me a chance. You know I'll sort it. I'll work better again. You know I need this. I can make it work.
Just get yourself back up and running. The job's always here for you. It's not that bad. I spoke to Kate earlier. She said you're going through the same thing at home. Look, they need you more than we do.
Fuck off, Mark. Don't you dare talk about my family.
This is exactly what I'm talking about. It's over, Rich. I'm just trying to help you here, and you're straight for the jugular again and again. You're on leave.
What?
Now. Go home, get yourself straight. I need the old you, not this.
Are you serious?
Badge.
Wow. Yeah, man. It's one of those things, like when you go through something traumatic and we know he's lying to himself, he knows he's lying to himself, you know? We saw him, or we heard him, we could hear him at the end of that first video, suspect down, breathing heavily. It shook him to his core, what happened there. And now he's on, I think, did they say 3 months? 3 months on? Or maybe it was longer. I'd have to go back and check. But he's now lying to himself, saying, it is what it is. You know, he had stabbed a girl. It was perfectly just. He's trying to justify it in his mind, which, I mean, maybe it was. Maybe we can come to a conclusion that it was a justified thing, but he's doing it so flippantly now, it seems, as a defense mechanism against what's really rocked him to his core. And you see that somebody who knows him so well is reaching out saying, man, what is going on with you? This is insane. And that person's an authority figure, and so they're in that position to say, nope, we're done, cut it off. But a lot of times, you might not have an authority figure like that in your life that actually cares about you that much. That's not just going to say, well, I'm done with you, go away. This guy cares. He cares about Richard and tries to reach out to him, and even says, you know, it's not like this is the only place this is happening. It's happening at home. You're taking this home with you, and we know that's not healthy. So that's really interesting. Moving on from temporary leave, let's jump into what's the next one here? We've got therapy. No. We've got one more, trouble at home. So now we're going to see a little bit of what his I forgot the guy. Did they even say the guy's name in here? What his buddy here and his boss were telling him, or was telling him about what was going on at home, that he had heard was going on at home. I don't know why all of a sudden I'm mincing my words.
Sarah, where the hell have you been? You're out half the night and you roll in after 9 like it's nothing.
What's wrong with you? It was at Mia's. I told you I'd be late. It's not even that late.
What's wrong with me? You're out there, no call, no text, hoodie up like you're some sort of yob traipsing around with God knows who. Do you think that's fine, Sarah?
I don't get you. I was safe. It was Mia's, not some random place. Why are you flipping out like this?
Because you don't think. You have no sense. You're just a kid. Do you have any idea what... Just get upstairs now.
What are you on about? You've gone mad. I shouldn't have to listen to you every time you lose your head at me over nothing. It's not fair. I'm not just some kid. I'm not staying for this. This doesn't... Mum, you've got to talk to him. He's always drinking and shouting. I don't want to be here. I'm going back to Mia's.
Sarah, I'm warning you.
That's it. Enough. That's fine, Sarah. Just text when you get there safe, yeah?
Kate, you can't just come down here.
And what? heard all that? What the hell's got into you? She's 14, Richard, and you're tearing into her like she's done something awful. No, don't you turn away from me. A month of this. Snapping, brooding, drinking in the dark. I've held me tongue, I've given you room, and now this. Yelling at her over nothing. I won't have it.
I don't need room. I need my life back.
Your life? What about ours? You're not here. You're a ghost around us. She's tiptoeing round you. I'm knackered holding us all together, and you're too bloody stubborn to see it.
Do you think I don't know I'm a mess?
Well, then do something. You're wrecking us. All you're doing is pushing her away, and you're pushing me towards the edge too. I've never seen you like this. And I can't keep pretending it's normal.
I didn't ask for any of this. None of it's on me.
No one's saying it is, Richard. God's sake. It's not about fault. But you're the only one who can pull yourself out of this hole. We can't keep waiting for you to snap out of it.
Wow. Yeah. Oh, man. Okay. So there's a lot there. There's a lot in that one. So Richard is trying to say, this isn't my fault. This isn't my fault. This isn't my fault. You know, it's almost like, it's like he's taken himself through this blame game of, you know, if that girl hadn't been out there, if that girl hadn't been walking around where she probably shouldn't have, and then he takes it out on his daughter there. You see that where he's like, you're not even thinking. You shouldn't be out there. You're not safe out there. And then he's looking at if that Screech kid, that other 14-year-old hadn't been out there, what were his parents thinking? Why was he out there? Why was he out there in the first place running the streets? And then he looks at the fact that a 14-year-old, it was by his hands, was killed on those streets. And then there was another 14-year-old girl killed by a 14-year-old on those streets. And so he's looking at his daughter who's 14. It's like, it's so on the nose. It's so on the nose here. But I still love it. This is so well portrayed because even though, like I've said this in the past, Ren does a really good job of taking something, bringing it to the nth degree, and then allowing us to find, you know, where our experiences lie along that spectrum. You know, taking concepts, taking feelings. Because like as a father, I have a daughter. My oldest is a girl, and then I have two boys. And I mean, they're very young right now. They're all under 5. But like, I think about a day when my little girl is going to want to go off and explore this world. And I know that's going to be difficult for me and her mother just to say, okay, go out there. We know what's out there. We know there's scary things out there. We know there's things out there that are going to hurt them. And I know as they grow up, it's going to be this gradual thing that's probably going to feel like it goes by way, way, way too fast. But there's relatability in what Richard's feeling, because you can take those feelings to the nth degree and say, he just went through something horrific involving two 14-year-olds that by all accounts, they should never have been put in such an adult situation. They shouldn't have ever had to deal with that. And then he looks at home with his daughter wanting to explore this world and feeling like, how is he even supposed to protect her from that? So I think there's a layer to that there. And then there is this, again, like I said, this blame game that he's playing where he doesn't want to take responsibility for his decision, where to some degree he does. He's got to deal with the fact that that's the decision he made in that moment, right or wrong. That's what he did, and now we got to deal with it. He's got to figure out how to live with the choice that he made without it destroying himself and the people around him. So, man, this is really good. I love this. This is such great lore for this little universe that Ren's creating here. Okay, jumping into therapy. Let's do it.
Just run through with me what happened that night.
Oh, you know what happened that night.
Humour me, please.
Look, it's the same as it was before. Up Brook Mews, that night, lad runs at me, knife dripping, 6 stabs in her, 14-year-old girl dead before I arrived. I yell, he doesn't stop, 4 shots, he's down, done.
I know I've been trying not to pause in the middle, but like, you see how plainly, how bluntly he lays that out. He's not reminiscing on it. He's not evaluating it. He's not thinking through it. He's not dealing with it. He's just, you know what happened. We don't got to talk about it. I know there's therapy, but we don't, you know what happened. Bop, 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 bop. Fact, 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 fact. Here's what happened. You good? We good? Like, it's, that's the attitude that we're trying to break through here,
Stop. 4 shots. He's down. Done.
Done. And the sigh. Now.
And it's still the same afterwards too. Mm-hmm. Mark has me on the desk for months, even though the investigation's long over now. Team are fed up with me, say I'm a liability, and that I snarl at them. Mm. Wife's no better. She went off at me recently because I lost it with our girl. Everyone's waiting for me to pull it together, but there's nothing left for me to pull together. Coming here isn't helping. You're not helping.
Richard, you've spoken a lot about other people. What about you?
Oh,
how do you
turn
feel
it around?
Right now?
That's cool.
I don't know.
That's cool.
I'm pissed off all the time. I just want things to go back to the way they were before, but I'm getting further away every day, and telling the story over and over again isn't changing that.
It's not about telling the
story. I hear
story.
what you're saying.
It's about dealing with it.
Right now, it doesn't feel like anything's improving, but try not to force it.
Yeah.
Thinking back to before, what was the hardest part for you to let go of?
Being safe, I guess. Like every time I close my eyes, I see him and I'm back there. I never used to be afraid of my own head. Mm. Now I'm angry all the time. At him, at myself.
Yeah.
I didn't want this. Didn't ask for any of it, and I don't deserve it. I just want to go back to how I was before. Who I was before. I just want my life back.
Richard, you should be aware that some experiences stay with people for a long time. As we move through our lives, we all change.
Yeah.
We can never go back to who we were. But with my help, I'm convinced that you can live a full and meaningful life again.
Wow. I know I've been saying that basically the same thing at the end of every single one of these. But a line, an old Ren line, I say old, it was just it was high Ren. A line from Ren that comes to mind here is, the more I cursed my clumsy footsteps, the harder it got. But I learned to relax. I learned to soften. And those are words that have stuck with me from High Ren in all of that song, of such poignant commentary on how the dark and the light kind of play tug of war sometimes with our minds, with our souls. Those lines are what come to my mind the most often. The more I cursed my clumsy footsteps, the harder it got. So I learned to relax. I learned to soften. And I think that's turning the camera around, looking at Richard there and seeing where he's at. That's what came to my mind, was he's got to relax. He's got to soften. He's got to stop cursing himself for what he's done. Stop cursing himself for being so angry and holding on to that and holding on so tight. It seems like what he's doing here is such a tight grip on what he's supposed to be, who he was, what he thinks his life needs to be. That he needs to soften, he needs to relax, he needs to deal with this. He needs to deal with it. Okay, let's move on, guys. Plowing through here. Okay, we got Clean Slate. Clean Slate is the next one. Okay.
Figured you'd be here, poking at ghosts.
Mark, you actually came.
Well, I had reports of a local flower thief.
Cheers for coming, mate. It means a lot you showing up. I really didn't think you'd bother, especially after you shoved me out the door,
Had to shove you out, didn't I? You were a bloody liability.
Yeah.
I couldn't see straight, let alone pass your own nose. Didn't mean I stopped giving a damn, though. Friends don't just walk away. even if the other one's too thick to notice.
Yeah, I was in a right state, wasn't I?
Yeah, you were.
Still feels like I'm wading through it some days.
It's night and day from then to now, though. Took more than thought you had in you to get this far. That's why I'm bringing you back.
What?
Next week.
Ne-
Your desk's waiting. Reckon you can handle it?
Next week? Christ. Dunno, maybe. Yeah. Yeah. Feels like I might not cock it up this time.
Ah, you won't. And if you do, I'll boot you out myself. Go on. First coffee's on me.
Deal.
Nice. So I think what we're seeing here, maybe it's been like a year or something since the incident, and he's bringing flowers to the spot. And then his friend walks up. His friend, who was also his, I guess, chief. Those kind of friends, it's interesting because like he was so angry, he was so mad that this friend, I thought you were my friend, and now you're firing me, you're booting me out the door. But a lot of times the friends that can see that moment, the same friends that can see that moment where we've gone outside of who we are, we're not ourselves anymore, something is off, something is wrong, there's something broken within us. The same friends that are able to look at us and see where we're at even when we can't see it are a lot of times the same friends that can see the improvements in us long before we can. Because you see what happened there. He's telling Richard, I think you're ready to come back. And even Richard's like, do you think? I mean, you know, like he was the one fighting to stay. Richard was fighting to stay. He's like, well, this is ridiculous. This is ridiculous. I'm fine. I have no idea what you're talking about. I'm fine. And now he's looking at Mark saying, are you sure I'm ready to come back? And so it's, man, having that kind of a friend that can look at you and have both sides of both sides of your back there, where they can tell you when it's gotten too far and then they can tell whenever you've come back. That's really cool. So I think we've got one more. And that is reinstated. So let me pull that up. That's actually under, I don't know why these are in different places. One's under video, one's under shorts. Let's take a look here. Got his badge back.
Kate, I'm ready to go.
Just a second, I'm coming down. I'm so proud of you, love. Have a good day, yeah? Say hello to Mark for me.
I will.
You don't look so nervous.
Thank you.
Love that. I love that. Yeah. So we didn't get a whole lot more to that, but there's still such impact here because we get to see that his life didn't entirely fall apart from this. It's not like he got divorced and he lost his wife. He might have damaged his relationship with his daughter maybe a little bit there. Hopefully he was able to reel that back in. But like you see his wife, she stood by him. She stood by him even in some of his darkest times. And so often we see stories like this where people fall into their depression, fall into it, and the people around them feel like they do need to step away, at least temporarily, and just say, I can't do this. It's destroying me to see you destroy yourself. And that does happen. But here we see she stood by him and she's so happy, that joy in her face that he has come out the other side of this and he's a new man. And he's probably, you can see he's nervous. You can see he has this trepidation about going into this place of work again after what all has happened. But he is a changed man. He has been refined by this fire that he's gone through, and he's ready to face a new chapter. And I think that there's something so beautiful in this little bit of lore that Ren's decided to give us about this universe he's creating, this little narrative universe. And it's really cool as well because you know, I'm not saying it's glossed over in the original trilogy. There's a whole like verse there about Richard that we got introduced to again here in the very beginning of this lore. And so Richard is a major character, but it's almost glossed over to a degree where it's like, okay, here's Richard's part, and then we're moving on. And then we've got Violet's tale. And so we don't hear about Richard anymore. And Ren, again, he's so good at taking certain things that people might miss. People might miss out on and saying, no, let's go back here and let's live there for a little while. Let's see what comes from that. And again, he's just knocked it out of the park with this. I love this little series. It was such a beautiful way to kind of introduce the new direction he was taking with Vincent's Tale and then bringing Richard back in. I'm excited. I've heard rumors that there's going to be a Richard's Tale, and this has gotten me really, really excited for it. It makes me less sure that is actually going to be a thing, seeing now that this was actually a lead up to Vincent's Tale. So I'm wondering, I haven't heard anything about Richard's Tale beyond just rumors and comments. So I'm hoping that is a thing that we're going to be seeing. But yeah, thank you guys. Thank you for bringing this to my attention, because this is pretty awesome. But let's end like I always do with a little bit of prayer. Lord, thank you. Thank you for redemption. Thank you for second chances. Thank you for the minds that you've given us to be able to go through things and then just to work through them, to make it so that we can go through things, we can have thick skin, and we don't have to spiral out of control whenever something terrible happens in our lives, Lord. We can look to you. We can look to the people around us that you've placed in our lives. We can look to, if it's big enough, look to professionals, as we've seen in this little bit of lore here, just to work through the things that we've had to endure in this messed up, fallen world that we live in. Thank you so much for redemption, Lord. And I praise you, and I pray this in the name of your Son. Amen. Thank you, guys. See you next time.